Siman Samech Testin Paris Al Shema Ve'Beis Yifim Yesh B'nei Adam Sheis Palu. Kol Echad B'fnei As Maybe Achiv. There were a lot of people who davened, each one be B'Yechidus. V'Loi Shomer Lo Kaddish V'Kedusha. And they didn't get to say Kaddish V'Kedusha because davened B'Yechidus, and now they happened to get together and they found there was a minyan. One of them should stand up. Kaddish Baruch Hu V'Achar V'Sheni Yetzer Erv Le'Yetzer. He should say Kaddish Baruch Hu, and then he would say the entire first bracha of Birchas Kriyas Shema. V'zenikra Peres al Shema. That's called the Peres al Shema. And what's the word Peres? Lashon Chaticha Perusa, to cut off a piece. We're only saying part of the Birchas Kriyas Shema, which is the first bracha. However, nowadays when someone is Peres al Shema, we do not say the whole bracha of Yetzer. We just say Kaddish and Baruch Hu, and the response of Baruch Hashem. The reason for this is based on Machlokes whether Baruch Hu is a bracha by itself, or Baruch Hu could only be said as a hakdama to a subsequent bracha, which is why the minhag of the Mechaber was that you had to just repeat that first bracha, even though everyone already said it. The minhag of the Ramah, and this is our minhag now, is that we do not need to say that because it's not really part of that bracha. It's a separate thing. Yesh Aimrim Sheperson B'Kriyas Shema Arvis K'may B'Shachris. Some say that we also are Peres on Kriyas Shema by Ma'ariv, meaning if people come who didn't hear Baruch Hu by Ma'ariv, they would do this also and say Baruch Hu. K'may B'Shachris V'ay Nagu Kin, but people were not like this Mishum Dalaka Kaddish Kin and Baruch Hu Shel Arvis, because we don't say Kaddish. So before there wasn't part of the Takana to say Kaddish before Baruch Hu at Ma'ariv. And therefore, people just weren't chayshish for this. It's very clear, by the way. Some people, whatever, try to say this Ramah. If you look in the documentation, it's very clear that he doesn't mean that it's also to by Ma'ariv. It just means that people weren't makbid on it because they didn't bother. But they should have said Baruch Hu. Now, there is a discussion here, which Mishnah Berurah and a number of Achronim talk about. There is a shita of the Radbaz who says not to do this at all after you've davened Shemoneh Esrei. So at least someone here has to have not davened Shemoneh Esrei yet. Is not the way the Mechaber and the Ramah are going here. There's some Achronim who say not to be Peres al Shema after everyone's davened Shemoneh Esrei. No discussion about that. Now, Achar Shesimu Birchas Yetzer, after finishing the bracha of Yetzer, this person being Peres al Shema, Emer Avos Ukvur Sukdusha Ve'ata Kaddish. He should say the first three brachas of Shemoneh Esrei out loud. And the third bracha, he'll say Kedusha in it, V'zenikra over Lifnei HaTeva, and that is called someone who's over Lifnei HaTeva. Now, the Ramah will mention later, the person who's doing this also has to finish Gehal Shemoneh Esrei at this point, because you can't just say the first three brachas. All of these things need a minyan. Meaning, even though they didn't daven with a minyan, they're not going to be davening with a minyan. To say Kaddish, Kedusha, and Baruch like this, they need a minyan. You need to have 6 people there who have not yet heard whatever thing you're repeating, Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruch Hu, which is most of the minyan. If you cannot find 6 people who were not yet, we would say it even if there's only one person who has not yet heard Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruch Hu. And it's permitted for someone who is already Yotze to be the one who actually says this out loud. If the person who did not hear yet knows how to do it, is able to do these things, who is better for him to do it instead of letting someone else do it. A person already Yotze, so let him do it, and let him say it to the Mishnah brings on minhag that the people had to let an Avel do this, even though he was already Yotze, so he'll get another Kaddish. This person was over Lifnei HaTeva and said those first 3 brachas, called Heicha Kedusha. Yashkum Kol HaTfil, he has to finish the rest of Shemoneh Esrei. V'yafsik, and he cannot be mafsik. Afal Pishakar, he's though he already davened the Shemoneh Esrei himself. He'll be davening now as a Tfilas Nadav as part of this way to say Kedusha. The other people who are there, though, they don't have to wait around for him to finish Shemoneh Esrei. He's not going to say anything else out loud. Just finish Shemoneh Esrei for himself. Certainly, if the person who's being Paris has not yet davened, so she Yash comes to us, of course he has to finish Shemoneh Esrei. He has to be the mitzvah of Shemoneh Esrei. The problem over here is that he just said Kaddish and Baruch Hu, and he started right away to say Geshman Esri, to say Kedusha, but he hasn't said Kriya Shema yet. I was assuming he hasn't davened. So he'll miss out on being Semech Gula Tefillah. And nevertheless, the many places can be done. The minhag is not like that. That if the person is not davened, he has to daven Kriya Shema and Birchas Kriya Shema and be Semech Gula Tefillah. And if the minion leaves, it's better to be Semech Gula Tefillah, then he's not going to be able to say Kedusha. You cannot be mafsik, meaning that Tzibur is davening and someone missed the Baruch and comes in and wants to do this. Now, in the middle of Kriya Shema or Bein Gula Tefillah, is not allowed to be mafsik then. Also, the Sheikh Tzibur hafsik when Kriya Shema Tefillah be Kriya Shema v'chesek the first al Shema leisna bayim leves knesses achar she's panel hakol Kaddish Baruch Hu v'hischon beberchas Yitzir. So meaning once the Sheikh Tzibur has already started saying Yitzir, he can't stop and repeat again Kaddish and Baruch Hu. Mishnah does point out here he could do this right after Baruch Hu. If he said Baruch Hu and some people came in who hadn't heard it again, he could say Baruch Hu right away, right then again. But once he started the Birchas Kriya Shema, the Shlich Tzibur cannot be mafsik then. However, Avon B'Birchas Arvis, you have to just wait until the Tzibur finishes to do this. Avon B'Birchas Arvis Shi Rishus, but since by Ma'ariv we said the Tefillas Ma'ariv is really Rishus, and therefore we're a little bit more making with the idea of Semechum L'Tefillah B'Ma'ariv, and that we have to do it, but we're a little bit more making with it. So Yachon LaHafsik Goytzi Achim Yedechevazim. The Shlich Tzibur could be mafsik before he starts Shemoneh Esrei to say Baruch Hu again. But someone else who's not l'shlich tzibur could do this and daven daven with a new minyan. I feel even though the tzibur is already daven in that shul, he can say it again in order to be meitzah people who weren't yotzei. The second chazan shouldn't stand where the first chazan was. They're nearing a gnai rishon. This looks like a gnai to the first people to have a ki'ilu layotzu b'rishonei dechvasam. It's like they weren't yotz, now I have to daven again after them. V'nir and Leis says the Ramadav k'shadayin rishon b'esakneses l'shishim esidron. The idea is over here only if the first minyan is still in the shul. They finish davening and someone else gets up in la'amid and starts saying Kaddish and Baruch Hu, it's like they weren't yotz. If the first minyan's left, yuchal lamed achaz naf makom shaman arishin. And Pesachim say the same thing is true if it's a scheduled minyan. It's only the place where the minhag was to have only one minyan. To now make a second minyan, the shliach tzibur should be somewhere else and not at the same amud. Suma afal pishlei ra ma'eretz miyama certain even though he never saw the light of these stars or the sun or anything from his the day he was born. Peres al Shema v'chitzaris. He can be Peres al Shema. He can say the brach of Yitzhar Ma'eres, even though that has to do with the sun and the moon. Shehu nana b'ma'eres, because he gets hana from them. How does he get hana? Sherei and achedem sheyeruhu other people use the sun to see and tell him where to go.